स्टूडेंट रजिस्ट्रेशन फॉर्म, वो स्टूडेंट रजिस्ट्रेशन फॉर्म में वी विल स्टोर द डेटा इन द डेटाबेस। ओके, उससे पहले जब मैं स्टूडेंट रजिस्टर फॉर्म क्रिएट कर रहा हूँ, आई वांट द कोर्स नेम्स टू बी एडेड डायनेमिकली। मतलब आई डोंट वांट टू ऐड द कोर्स नेम्स डायरेक्टली इन द सेलेक्ट टैग। वो डेटाबेस के अंदर मैं कोर्स को स्टोर करता हूँ, एंड फ्रॉम देयर द डेटा हैज टू बी रिट्रीव्ड इन द another form in this case. So that is what we will be concentrating in the today's class and tomorrow's class. उससे पहले a very simple structure, I'll tell you what we are going to do in this. So एक student registration form create करना है, where we take the student data in this case, like student name, his mobile number, उसका email ID, and next we will take is the college name nakko, we will take this, and we will take his password and the course that he is studying. Okay, which course he is studying in this case, and course fees. Okay, so now tell me which tags you will use to create these forms. So please share. Oh, sorry. So now these are the inputs that I have to take from the user in this case. Okay. So now for student name, which tag you will use? HTML में कौन सा tag use करेंगे for the taking the student name? No, label is used to display. वो student name बोल के display करने के लिए. When we want to take input from the user, so which tag we will use? Yes. ಇಷ್ಟು ಖರಾಬ್ ಮರ್ತೋದ್ರ ಕಷ್ಟ ರೀ. Type what? ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ನೇಮ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವ HTML ಟ್ಯಾಗ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾವ? Okay, moral of the story, next time when I start with a full stack course, I'll make sure that 3 महीने के अंदर एग्जाम खत्म होने से पहले खत्म कर लेंगे. इतना गैप.
Sir, we will use text.
We will use
Text.
yes, we will use type is equal to text in this case. Okay, थोड़ा उसको भी recall करेंगे. What are all the HTML tags we have in this case? We have 3 types of tags. One is input tag, second is text area tag, and third is select tag. Okay, so input tag mein there are different types. Say type is equal to text. So type is equal to text क्यों use करते हैं? To take numbers, alphabets, anything in this case. Next we have something called as type is equal to number, where I will take only numbers from the user in this case. Then we have type is equal to password. मतलब whatever you type in the text box will not be displayed to the user in this case. Then we have type is equal to email. That is if you want to take email ID from the user in this case. Then we have type is equal to hidden. Hidden is used when that एक data store करने के लिए use करते हैं, which is not displayed on the web page in this case. Then we have type is equal to date. अगर एक कैलेंडर डिस्प्ले करना है तो we make use of type is equal to date in this case. Then we have type is equal to time. अगर टाइम फॉर्मेट में यूजर के पास से डेटा लेना क्या है, then we make use of type is equal to time in this case. Then we have type is equal to radio. Type is equal to radio क्यों यूज करते हैं? Whenever we want to give multiple choice to the user will take only one input from that. I mean, he'll select only one input in this case. तो type is equal to radio यूज करते हैं. Then we have type is equal to checkbox. Checkbox में क्या होता है? You have multiple choice. User can select multiple items. एक से ज्यादा items select करना है from the given choice. then we make use of type is equal to checkbox. Then we have type is equal to file. अगर आपको एक फाइल अपलोड करना है, यू वांट टू सेलेक्ट अ फाइल और फोटो वीडियो कुछ भी अपलोड करना है सर्वर में, सेलेक्ट वो फाइल को सेलेक्ट करने के लिए we make use of type is equal to file in this case. Then we have type is equal to submit. After collecting all the data from the user, वो data अगर मेरे को सर्वर को सेंड करना है, then we make use of type is equal to submit in this case. Then we have type is equal to reset. Type equal to reset is used to refresh the web page. अगर आप वेबसाइट में या वेब पेज में you have entered the data, सब data erase करना है, in that case we make use of type is equal to reset. These are all the HTML tags that we had seen in the previous class. Okay, these are all called as the user interface tags in this case. Then after that we had the second type of tag, that is the text area tag in this. Text area tag क्यों use करते हैं? Whenever we want to enter the inputs in multiple lines में आपको data enter करना है, then we make use of the text area tag in this case. Select tag is used to give multiple choice to the user. अगर we have more than 4 options to be displayed to the user, अगर मेरे पास 50 courses है तो I want to display all 50 courses to you people. So in that case, we make use of a select tag in this, and among this he can select only one tag in this case. Okay, so just एक simple सा syntax भी दिखा देता हूँ. Input type is equal to, आपको कौन सा टाइप चाहिए वो टाइप यूज करते हैं, name attribute यूज करते हैं. We have something called as placeholder. Placeholder वहाँ पे बॉक्स के अंदर इंफॉर्मेशन डिस्प्ले करने के लिए we make use of placeholder in this case. Required बोल के एक attribute आता है, means compulsory the user has to enter the input in this case. Okay, then we have pattern. This is very important in this case. Pattern में हमारे को क्या बोला, तो we have to mention what are all the inputs that should be allowed inside the text box. जैसे I want to allow name in this case. Name allow करना है, if I have taken type is equal to text, अब क्या होता है, it will take everything, it will take numbers, it will take symbols, it will take alphabets. Alphabets में capital and small everything, लेकिन मेरे को सिर्फ alphabets allow करना है. So in that case pattern के अंदर we give A to Z, small letters allow होता है. Capital A to capital Z देता हूँ तब capital letters allow होता है. After that put a flower bracket कि minimum कितने characters type कर सकते हैं. So minimum he has to type 2 characters. Maximum कितने characters type कर सकता है? Say maximum is 100 characters. So that is mentioned inside the flower brackets in this case. Okay. Then इसके बाद pattern property के बाद we have another property, that is auto focus. Auto focus equal to on बोल के use करते हैं. That means whenever the HTML page is displayed, immediately it will put the cursor in that text box. वो text box के अंदर cursor डालने के लिए we make use of autofocus, and autofocus is used only for the first tag in this case. आपके form tag के अंदर whichever is the first tag, in that first tag it will display the cursor in this case. Then we have one more, that is auto complete. Auto complete equal to हमेशा off देते हैं, because cursor blink करते हो, if I type A, वो फॉर्म के अंदर A से क्या क्या स्टार्ट होता है, it will display everything, वो नहीं चाहिए मेरे को. In that case we make use of autocomplete equal to off. Autocomplete off हर एक टैग में डालने से अच्छा है कि फॉर्म टैग के अंदर इसको डाल दो. Okay, so generally we don't use it for the type equal to text. Anyways, that property is there for the input type in this. Then we have one more field in this called as, one more attribute called as read only. अगर मैं कोई attribute को read only बोल के attribute डाल दिया, you can't type anything in that text box. Okay, read only itself says that you can only read the data from the text box, you can't write anything inside this. Generally, very rare case we make use of this. Then we have one more, disabled. अगर I don't want this tag to be used by the user, अगर some cases में ऐसा होता है कि user उसको tag का फील्ड जरूरत नहीं है, in such case we use the disabled property. If you put disabled property, the user can't type anything inside the text box. It's similar to that of your read only in this case. Okay, लेकिन ये very rare we use these kind of attributes. तो इतने attributes तो compulsory आपको याद रखना होगा. These are most filtered attributes that we have in this case. Okay, so this is an input tag in this case. Then I told about the text area tag in this. Text area tag is simple. It is a separate closing tag in this case. Input tag में क्या होता है? The tag closes there itself. मतलब उसके अंदर ही close होता है. But in case of text area tag, we have a separate closing tag for the text area in this. And attributes here, of course, we have a name attribute. I think have you mentioned name? Yes. So name attribute which is used to identify the tag in this case. Okay. We have the required property here also. We have the placeholder property here also in this case. We have the disabled property here also in this case. DSABLED. We have the read only property. And we have two extra properties here. One is call, which will tell what should how many columns the text box should be. Simple words, call will tell me the size of the text box. How many width of that particular text box in this case. Then we have one more, that is rows. Rows will tell how many rows of data is visible to the user. By default, there's only 2 rows that is visible to the user. If I want to have more than 2 rows, then we can mention using the rows attribute. And here if I say 5, means 5 lines can be displayed to the user in this case. 5 lines of data can be viewed by the user. But if he types more than 5, yes, it will take more than 5 attributes in this. So these are all the different types of tags. The main 2 types in this case. The last one is a select tag. Select tag is nothing but it is for a multiple choice to the user. Very simple. It is select open, select close. इसके अंदर आपको जो भी आइटम्स डिस्प्ले करने का है, those items can be displayed using the option tag के अंदर whatever the options you want to give it to the user, you can mention here. Say example, I want to display all the course names, say C language. I want some more options, you can use followed by C++, then I have C hash, then you have Java, and it goes on in this case. So user ko, it will show all these options and user can select only one language from this. Okay. Select tag के अंदर of course we have a required property, compulsory one of the language has to be selected, मतलब तब required property use करते हैं. We have the name property which will tell me what information you are taking from the user in this case. Here we have the और एक प्रॉपर्टी कौन सा, we can have the disabled property in this case. अगर वो option disable करना है, we can make use of disabled, which we generally don't use in this. Okay, placeholder is not there in this case. You don't have a placeholder, you don't have a pattern property in this. Say in this maximum I get a students for Python language, लेकिन वो last में है, but I want Python to be selected by default. Option tag के अंदर there is one attribute called as selected. If I type selected in the option property, by default Python select हो जाता है वहाँ. Okay, so that is a selected property. Now the demand for C# is less, so I don't want the user to select C#. I can use disabled property. अगर मैं disabled property use किया, tag is enabled, but you can't select the C# language in this case. That is what the disabled property in the option tag is used for. Okay, next यहाँ पे C++ बोल के we have a language and we don't want C++ के जगह में I want to store CPP in database. तब मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ, I can use value property and mention here as CPP. If I mention value property, when user will select C++ language, submit करता है data, it will store CPP instead of C++ language. Okay, नहीं तो what I can do is I can give ID for each language. जैसे for C language, the value property I will give 1. What happens now? If the user selects C language, 1 will be stored in the database. When he goes for CPP, I have given ID 2. So C++ language, instead of storing so many characters, it will store only one character, that is 2, which is more easy in this case. Yes, same thing with the third. I can go with value property equal to 3. So instead of storing C hash language, it will store 3. So wherever it is showing me 3, I'll assume that it is a C sharp language in this. So like this, value property can be used to take a alternate input for the field in this case. Okay. So this is the select tag. So these were the HTML tags that we had concentrated in the previous class in this case. Okay. Now, after this, now we have to start with the form design. We have to create a new project. Project create Madi. I want to collect student data in this case. So as I told, student data, I want to show these many information in this case. Okay. So here, the most important thing is course. I don't want to give like this. Generally, what we have done in the last class is a select tag diye. In that select tag, we have given all the languages in this case. Okay, but I don't want to do this. यहाँ पे I will not give the course names directly in this. मैं क्या करता हूँ? I'll create a one more form. This is a student register form. Student register.html. Okay, but I don't want to create a student register form like this. इससे पहले मैं क्या करता हूँ? I will create a one more form in this case. I'll call it as course master. Generally we use a word called as master. Master का मतलब है इसमें जो भी आप forms data store करते हो, those data is used by some other table. Okay, so for that I want to create one course master.html page जहाँ पे I will create course name. I have to take a course name field in this case and course ka fees. Okay, so I want to create one HTML form course master.html where I'll take the course name, course fees and चाहे तो ड्यूरेशन, मतलब कितने मंथ्स का है ड्यूरेशन आई वांट टू गिव इन मंथ्स और दिस उसके बारे में कोर्स का इंफॉर्मेशन की व्हाट आर ऑल द थिंग्स दैट विल बी टॉट इन दैट पर्टिकुलर कोर्स आई वांट टू गिव दैट इंफॉर्मेशन आल्सो सो यू कैन गिव कोर्स डिटेल्स. So this is the first form that I want to create in this. After creating this form, when I store the data, whatever course names I have typed here, see adroga ಮೂರು course names ನಾ type ಮಾಡೀನಿ. ಆ ಮೂರು course name ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ it should be displayed in this place. मतलब in another HTML page, whatever the course names that I have added in the first form, those course names should be visible here in this case. Understood this point? So this is what I want to do in the today's class. Of course इतना पूरा एक ही class में नहीं होगा. We will first start with this part in this case. Okay, after that we'll इसको पूरा करने के लिए it will take 3 days. 3 days of time is required to perform these operations. I'll go slow because आज के class में you need to recall how to store the data. वो बड़ा important है. So we will be concentrating on this. Clear till here? Okay. Now let us start with the command prompt. एक project create करने के लिए. So open the browser. You can type cd slash so that I'll come to C drive in this case. यहाँ पे एक project create करना है. Project का नाम होगा क्या नाम देंगे? We want to make sure that the folder name does not exist here. अभी तो ये college combined class है. I'll keep it as Python project. We'll keep the project name as Python project in this case. So let us say to create a project, we make use of Django -admin start project followed by project name. So project name I will give it as Python project. So is it capital compulsory to put it in capital letters? No, it is optional in this case. Always jaldi dikh jata hai if it is in capital letters. So click on enter. The Django is installed and एक command prompt वापस आता है. Command prompt वापस आया तो that means a new folder has been created inside this by the name Python project. So you can see Python project folder. उसके अंदर और एक Python project बोल के folder रहेगा, manage.py रहेगा. Next, go inside that folder. So cd python project, enter. So now I am inside the Python project folder in this case. उसके अंदर जाने के बाद now I need to create one application. Okay, so to create an application, it is python manage.py start app. उसके बाद name of the application in this case. Say application का नाम we will give it as course, और we'll call it as app बोल के ही दे देंगे. Okay, app थोड़ा confusion होगा. So what we will do is we will say student details. I will create a application name as student details in this. Click on enter and फिर command prompt आ गया without any error. That means the application is created. Now you can see there is an application called as student details in this. Okay, sir, can I keep it in capital letters? Yes, you can do it in capital letters also. अगर capital letter में create करना है, delete करो उसको. I'll create one more with student details. Click on enter. So student details capital letters में convert. Sir, वो folder को rename करना था. It is not done like that. अगर वहाँ क्योंकि that name is used most of the places, तो उसके लिए we keep it, we have to delete and we have to recreate in this case. After this, now I need to create a link these applications. So once you have done with this, the next step what we have to do is आपके project folder के अंदर जाके go to settings.py, scroll down in the installed apps. You have to add the name of the application. So यहाँ पे in the single quotation or double quotation, student details. Okay, copy paste karo. That is always the best thing in this. And second thing is it should be exactly same. If you have created the application in capital letters, same thing should be pasted in this. And save this, close this. So now the application is created. Okay, उसके बाद the next step what we do is यहाँ पे we have one more file called as urls.py. Go to urls.py, scroll down, and here you have from Django contrib import admin. Second is from Django.urls import path. Path के बाद separated by comma you put include. Include is one more built-in function defined by the Python language. वो urls बोल के एक फाइल पे रहता है. Okay, so we import that particular function in this case. And in the URL patterns, I have to type path empty brackets separated by comma include inside this double quotation the name of your application, that is student details dot urls. Now why you write this? Here you are writing this because whenever somebody wants to execute your program, that particular command should call this particular file, that is a file called urls in your application folder. And to call this file, what he should type is mentioned here. Whatever you give, that should be entered in the browser. यहाँ पे अगर मैंने दिया कि student details, then in URL also I have to give student details to access the application. If I have just given SD, there also you have to give SD to access the application. No sir, I want to just type localhost colon 8000. In that case, don't give anything. Okay, if you have multiple applications in the project, एक ही project में multiple applications है, compulsory you have to give the path in this case. उसके अंदर you have to enter some value. If there is only one application, don't need to type anything inside this. Okay, so this is what we do in the urls.py. So two things, settings.py mein we added the application name in the installed apps. After that, the second thing we did was in the urls.py we included a function called include. We imported the function called include, and we have created a path to call the urls.py file in the student details folder. So now go to student details folder and he is searching for urls.py. Do we have urls.py here? No. So what I have to do? Very simple. Copy this same urls.py, paste it in the project your application folder. Most important thing, होने के बाद ये दोनों को डिलीट करो. It must be empty in this. ओके नहीं तो लूप होने का स्टार्ट करेगा इन्फिनिट लूप. दैट मीन्स फ्रॉम द यूआरएल्स ऑफ द प्रोजेक्ट इट विल कम टू एप्लीकेशन यूआरएल. यहाँ से फिर उसको वापस भेज रहा है. इट इज सेंडिंग हिम बैक टू urls.py ऑफ द प्रोजेक्ट. फिर वहां से इसको वापस आ रहा है. इट विल गो टू इन्फिनिट लूप. सो डोंट कीप एनीथिंग इनसाइड द urls.py ऑफ द एप्लीकेशन इन दिस. इतना होने के बाद next what we will do is come to the command prompt and type a command, that is python manage.py make migrations, and click on enter. It will say no changes detected because make migration will search for any changes that you have made in the models.py of your application. You have not even opened that file. ಅದೇನು ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ it will show no changes detected. If you have made any changes, then it will show what are the changes you have done. That we will see in the later part. Next, after make migration, you have to, whenever you execute a make migration, compulsory you have to execute migrate command in this. So migrate will add all the library files, all the required contents for your project in this case. So once it is done, the migration is over. After this, whatever the steps you have done, of course, ye aa gaya to you have done it correctly. To see the application, I will say run server, click on enter. So it says quit the server with control break. Agar quit the server with control break aa gaya, so whatever operations you have done is perfectly fine. I want to see that application on the screen. So open the browser. And here I'll open and I'll type localhost colon 8000, click on enter, and you will see the Django application file is working. Sir, I don't want this file to be displayed. I want my HTML page to be displayed here. So for that, if you want to create HTML files in this case, what you have to do is in the application folder, create one more folder called as templates. Create a folder by name templates. Spelling mistakes nahi hona chahiye. Inside the template folder, put all your HTML files in this case. Now I want to add course master. Okay, तो मैं क्या करता हूँ? I will create one HTML file here, or you can do it directly using the Sublime text, and उसको save करता हूँ. First thing I'll save inside the templates folder. तो template folder के अंदर I will say coursemaster.html and click on enter, and HTML structure right now, and here I will say course master. Okay, same label we put it in the h3, call it as course master. इसके अंदर we create a form design. I told you what are the fields that I need to take in the coursemaster.html. So course name, which tag I should use here? Type equal to
text.
अभी तो बोला था type equal to text. Yes. Next, for course fees, which type you will use? We use the number. Type is equal to number बोल के एक tag आता है. We use the type equal to number in this. Next, duration चाहिए in months. So which tag will use here? No. It will be a text. No. In your course join ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅದೇ ಡ್ಯೂರೇಷನ್ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು ನೀವು ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಜನರಲಿ ವಾಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಸರ್ ಹೌ ಮಚ್ ಡ್ಯೂರೇಷನ್ ದ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ವಾಟ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಟೆಲ್ 3 or 4 or 5 what is that
Number.
it is a number again so it should be in the number in this case so duration I will say it is also type is equal to number. Next, course details. Course details matlab, then you will ask, sir, what are the things that we'll be learning in this particular course? So in that case, I have to mention all the syllabus of this. Like you'll be studying HTML, then you'll study Python language, then you'll
Heavy.
study Django, then you'll study JavaScript. I have to mention all these things. उतना पूरा टाइप करने के लिए कौन सा टैग यूज करोगे text no text में it is one line
Area.
is multiple lines in this case multiple lines type करना पड़ेगा
Text area.
we make use of the text area tag in this I told you text area will accept the data in multiple lines in this case so we make use of the text area tag for that so text area ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಕೋರ್ಸಿಗೆ ಬಂದಿರಿ ಅದ್ರ ಸಲುವಾಗಿ ಯು ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ರೀಕಾಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ದ ಒನ್ ಹೂ ಇಸ್ ಸಿಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆನ್ಸರಿಂಗ್ ಶಿ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ರಿಟರ್ನ್ ಮೆನಿ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಸೊ ಶಿ ಈಸ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಟೆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಕ್ವಿಕ್ಲಿ ಸೊ ಮಾರಲ್ ऑफ द स्टोरी इज वेरी सिंपल प्रैक्टिस और करना चाहिए आप लोगों को ओके सो यू विल रिकॉल ऑल दीज थिंग्स इन दिस केस ओके सो आई थिंक नो कॉलेज फॉर एवरीवन सब खाली बैठे ठीक है कल से घर में बोल दो कि विल कम सुबह टिफिन करके जाएंगे विल कम बैक इन द आफ्टरनून फॉर लंच ओके टिल देन ब्रिंग योर बुक्स HTML का बुक लेके आओ सिट हियर प्रैक्टिस एंड देन ओनली हैव टू गो नहीं तो these concepts will vanish off in this case okay yes so these are the tags that I need for these inputs in this case so abhi jaake we design the HTML form in this HTML form design करना है all the user interface tags must be inside the form tag form tag के अंदर दो attributes we mention that is name I will give it as course master or a tag that is attribute called as method which is always initialized to post and it is compulsory that you should use the method equal to post in this case okay inside this we design the form in form design ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ I told you one more concept called as bootstrap in this case so we use a bootstrap design to create the form in this so bootstrap use करने के लिए the first thing that you have to do is go to a website called huh? Hmm? W3 schools bootstrap in this case okay so when you open that site यहाँ पे scroll करो you will find something called as try it yourself click करो यहाँ पे दो लाइन मिलते हैं वो दो लाइन को कॉपी करो लिंक एंड स्क्रिप्ट बोल के दो लाइन्स you get copy that and first thing is you paste it here okay after this we start with the form design so form design ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದಾಗ ಅಲೈನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ we make use of the bootstrap classes just say div class is equal to container hyphen fluid this is a main container tag in this case all the tags must be written inside this now I want each tag in a separate row okay एक के नीचे एक आना चाहिए so for that we use a one more division class here that is div class equal to row so एक row create होता है inside this row I want a label called as course name और उसके अंदर text box होना चाहिए so what I do for that is we create a one more tag in this called as div class equal to call hyphen lg hyphen 4 now what is this lg matlab it is a large screen if you have a desktop or a monitor in this case, बड़ा screen है like desktop or monitor, I want one fourth portion of that for this particular tag. One fourth मतलब the whole division screen is divided into 12 pieces. Okay, equal 12 pieces को cut किया है. In that I am telling that 4 pieces should be given for the uh, this particular tag in this. जैसे this whole screen is of 12 pieces, मैं बोलता हूँ 4 मतलब यहाँ पे 4 हो जाएगा. This is 4, यहाँ तक from the start, यहाँ तक it will be 8 और उसके बाजू में जो है it will be the remaining 12 in this case. So like this 3 pieces में कट हुआ है. If I give it as call LG4. If I give call LG3, so it is simple, 12 divided by 3, 4 आ जाएगा. That means now you have divided screen into 4 blocks in this case. Okay, तो इस तरीके से we divide the screen to give the space for that particular tag. उतना space tag को उतना fixed space दे रहे हैं. I'll make use of 4 in this case. अगर your device is a tab है तो टैब स्क्रीन विल बी स्मॉल. तो मेरे को क्या है बोले तो इफ आई मेक कॉल LG4, तब क्या होता है एक लाइन में 3 टैग आ सकते हैं. बट व्हेन द टैग इज स्मॉल आई वांट द विड्थ टू बी हाफ ऑफ इट, क्योंकि छोटा स्क्रीन है तो बड़ा होना चाहिए टेक्स्ट बॉक्स. सो आई वांट इट हाफ. व्हाट आई विल से कॉल MD-6. 6 is 50% of the 12 this case. तो मैं क्या करता हूँ अगर स्क्रीन छोटा है that is medium screens जैसे 10 इंच का आपका टैब आ जाएगा. So in that case I say half of the screen should be for the tag in this case. Now if it is a mobile phone और उससे भी छोटा है, the screen is very small compared to tab and desktop in this, तब मैं क्या करता हूँ I will say call -SM-12 means I am giving this full screen. इतना पूरा screen मोबाइल का जो भी full width है, I am giving the full width for the tag in this case. Okay, so this division is what we make for the column in this case, and it is standard. Copy paste करते जाओ इसको. Okay, and inside this you put a label tag in this, and मैं बोलता हूँ कि course name. Okay, put a label on that. उसके बाद we write the input tag in this case. So in that input type is equal to text, name is equal to course name, required property, it is a compulsory field in this case. Next मैं बोलता हूँ कि auto focus, because it is a first tag in this case, I'll say auto focus on. Okay, I use a placeholder in this case जहाँ पे उसको बोलता हूँ कि enter course name. Okay, so I have given the enter course name. उसके बाद we have और क्या यूज कर सकते हैं, required हुआ, that's it. So these are the pattern property लेंगे. We use a pattern property in this. मेरे को सिर्फ characters allow करना है. So I will say A to Z, capital A to capital Z. Even we can allow space there, like data structures space is there. So space allow करना है slashes. Okay, slash बोल के डालो, yes will represent space. Minimum 2 characters or say minimum 1 character in this, because C is the only language. Of course we type C language, but लेकिन C बोल के भी type कर सकते हैं. So I'll give minimum 1 character that should be entered. Maximum I'll give it up to 50 characters in this case. तो 50 characters तक enter कर सकता है. तो maximum 50 characters तक enter कर सकता है. Okay, समय सेटिंग क्लास थोड़ा देर में स्टार्ट करता हूँ. क्यों, ये किसका? So 1,50. So I have given 50 up to 50 characters. You can enter the course name in this case. So this is one tag that I have created. उसके बाद the next thing is I want to take a second input from the user. Second input मेरे को चाहिए course fees. So what we do is इसका रो खत्म होने के बाद I'll put it in the next row. Okay, so in the next row again the same thing in this, वही division tag class equal to row close inside this again one more division tag div class equal to call hyphen ऊपर का जो भी था same thing in this case call hyphen lj hyphen 4 call hyphen md hyphen 6 call hyphen sm hyphen 12 and close the tag in this. उसके बीच में same we make use of a label tag in this label tag के अंदर we mention course fees and in the next line input type is equal to number not give it in the numbers in this case name उसका रहेगा course fees compulsory property required use a placeholder enter course fees and I will use a pattern property in this case. Pattern property mein I want only numbers to be allowed in this case. So I'll say 0 to 9. Separated by flower brackets, minimum 8 character, maximum say 5 characters. Say there are some courses like machine learning, that's all 12,000 rupees course. So 5 characters are used. सेम कॉन्सेप्ट अगर आप ऑनलाइन पे सीखोगे इन अ वेबसाइट और कंपनी कॉल्ड स्केलर 1 लाख रुपए का फुल स्टैक कोर्स है वहाँ पे सेम कॉन्सेप्ट व्हाट यू लर्न हियर दे विल टीच यू ऑनलाइन इन दिस केस 1 लाख रुपए है उसका ओके सो इन दैट केस आई कैन गिव अप टू 7 कैरेक्टर्स तक दे दो कॉलेज फीस है दैट इज ऑल इन लैक्स इन दिस केस ना इंजीनियरिंग वो सब पढ़ रहे हो सो मेक श्योर दैट वो सफिशिएंट नंबर ऑफ कैरेक्टर्स शुड बी गिवन फॉर दैट इन दिस केस. So this is the course piece. Now, sir, HTML form I want to see that. अभी फिलहाल इतना ही रखें. We have to add some more fields in this. So whatever I have typed, I want to see that HTML page. How to do it? Very simple. Whenever you create a HTML page, you have to go to urls.py of that application. Application के अंदर urls.py में जाके you have to create a path. पाथ बोल के एक बिल्ट इन फंक्शन है पाथ फंक्शन लेके उसके अंदर व्हाट इज द नेम ऑफ दैट HTML पेज इट इज कोर्स मास्टर ओके कॉपी करो सेपरेटेड बाय कॉमा व्यूज डॉट कोर्स मास्टर व्यूज इज अ सेपरेट HTML फाइल सॉरी द पाइथन फाइल इन द प्रोग्राम इन दिस केस तो मैं बोल रहा हूं कि व्यूज बोल के एक फाइल है उसके अंदर कोर्स मास्टर बोल के वन फंक्शन इज डिफाइंड कॉल दैट फंक्शन सेपरेटेड बाय कॉमा नेम इज इक्वल टू कोर्स मास्टर सो नेम इज इक्वल टू कोर्स मास्टर ये अभी फिलहाल बाद में देखेंगे व्हाई वी यूज दिस सिर्फ उसको नेम बोल के सेम थिंग यू टाइप मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट सिंस यू आर एक्सेसिंग द डेटा फ्रॉम अनदर पेज इन दिस केस मैं यहाँ पे फ्रॉम एप्लीकेशन नेम दैट इज student what is application name student details import views I am importing the views file from the student details in this case this line has to be compulsory mentioned so that आप इसको लिख सकते हो okay otherwise you can't access this particular line ये लाइन आप नहीं लिख सकते because you have not imported the views.py file in this case okay now I have written a function in the I have written one path in the urls.py immediately first we have created a HTML page create करने के बाद उसका एक path create करो in the urls.py when you create a path immediately you have to open the views.py and you have to create a function here फंक्शन कैसे क्रिएट करना वेरी सिंपल डेफ बोल के एक कीवर्ड आता है आफ्टर दैट व्हाटएवर द नेम ऑफ द फंक्शन यू हैव गिवन गिव दैट फंक्शन फ्लावर ब्रैकेट सिंपल ब्रैकेट ओपन क्लोज उसके अंदर वी पास वन पैरामीटर दैट इज रिक्वेस्ट पुट अ कोलन एंटर now I need to call the HTML page here in this case matlab you can't call the HTML page directly you will call the urls.py url will call the function will call the HTML file this is a flow How to call the HTML file? Very simple. It is return render बोल के एक function आता है. The render function will always call the HTML pages that you have written in the templates folder in this case. So what I do is render के अंदर you pass two parameters in this. First parameter है उसको request करो. Request is the first parameter separated by comma. इसके अंदर you pass the name of the HTML file in this. HTML file I have given coursemaster.html. Clear with this point? So I'm calling that particular function here in this case. Save karo. Now I want to see that page. कैसे देखना है? Very simple. Go to your browser. This we had seen localhost colon 8000 type किए थे. So it was showing the default Django page in this case. Slash डाल के whatever you had given in the URLs यहाँ पे जो भी दिए थे copy करो and paste it. Click on enter. It will show you the login, the course master page in this case. Okay. So whenever you create a HTML page, you have to create a path. You have to call. You have to create a function in the views.py. Call the HTML page. Sir, अच्छा नहीं दिख रहा है. Of course, we have to make it look better in this case. So for that, the first thing design जब हम use कर रहे हैं, हम क्या करते हैं? We have to add one more attribute here called as class equal to form hyphen control. Use class equal to form hyphen control for all the input tags in this case. Save करो, refresh करो, थोड़ा difference लगेगा. Of course, labels are in very small letters. Increase the label highlights. Label को highlight करो वहाँ पे. तो label को highlight करने के लिए one thing I will do is I will put it inside the bold tag. दोनों लेबल को बोल्ड टैग में डाल देता हूँ. सेव करो, रिफ्रेश, बोल्ड लेटर्स में आ गया. सर आई वांट टू इंक्रीज द गैप बिटवीन द लेबल एंड द टेक्स्ट बॉक्स. यहाँ बीच में गैप कम है. आई वांट टू इंक्रीज द गैप. गैप इंक्रीज करना है. वी हैव वन एट्रीब्यूट और वन प्रॉपर्टी और क्लास इन दिस कॉल्ड एज mb-2. सेम थिंग फॉर ऑल. से mb-2. If you give mb-2, refresh को थोड़ा नीचे आ गया. So this is how we can make use of space in this. लेकिन सर आप लेफ्ट में दिखा रहा है want that in the center. The tag should come in the middle of the page in this case. तो मिडिल में लाने के लिए don't put a center tag, it will not work. यहाँ पे आपको क्या करना है? You want to push this tag towards मतलब लेफ्ट साइड से दूर प्रेस करना है. You have to push it away from the left side in this case. How to do it? Very simple. यहाँ पे और एक class आता है. The class name is offset hyphen lg hyphen. कितना push करना है? If you give only one, मतलब एक unit push करता है. I'll show you this. Refresh. थोड़ा push हो गया. This is 1 unit. अगर exact center में आना है तो you push it 4 in this case. It comes exactly in the center in this case. Same thing ये हर बार यूज करो. Save, refresh. तो वो exactly दोनों center में आ गए. Next after this I need to take the course duration. So अभी एक एक change add करेंगे. We can see the change immediately in this case. तो tag खत्म होने के बाद add one more division. वो division के अंदर use class equal to row. Inside this one more division for this label. अभी copy paste करने का सीखो. Copy this and paste it entirely. Make the change. That is यहाँ पे it is course duration. वो हम bracket में डालो in months. मतलब वहाँ पे 1, 2, 3 लिखा हुआ तो is it 1 day, 1 hour, 1 month? You will not get to know. So I'll say in months and type is equal to number रहेगा and name I will change it to course duration. Course duration required property है enter duration. Pattern property of course 0 to 9 minimum एक character type करेगा. maximum he can type up to 2 characters in this. क्योंकि 12 months we have, okay, 99 months तक highest जा सकते हो. There is no course for 99 months in this case. तो 2 character मैं type करने के लिए दे रहा हूँ. He can type from 1 to 99 in this case. Next यहाँ पे save करो and refresh the page. वो automatically नीचे आपको मिल जाएगा. Okay. इसके बाद I need to have the course details in this case. So course details case, as I told you, you need a text area tag. So in the next line इसी को copy paste करो, time बच जाएगा. I'm keeping it very separate so that it is easy to understand कि tag कहाँ start हो रहा है, कौन सा tag कहाँ start हो रहा है, कहाँ close हो रहा है. Generally we follow the indentation, तो correct मालूम होता है. Next I will say course details कि क्या क्या पढ़ाया जाएगा. So उसके लिए we don't use this, we make use of a text area tag in this case. So I'll use text area tag, name property is equal to course details. Compulsory है, required in this case. Placeholder चाहिए, enter course details. Then I'll make use of class equal to form hyphen control. Okay, save this, refresh the page, so you get a course details. I told you course details by default text area tag will allow only 2 lines of data in this case. 2 ही line दिखेगा. You can type more than line, more than 2, but visible is only 2 in this case. नहीं चाहिए सर, I need at least 5-6 लाइन तो दिखना चाहिए. So in that case I use a one more property here called as rows. Rows is equal to 5 बोल के देता हूँ. So now I can see up to 5 rows in this case. Last में after entering all these data एक submit button चाहिए to send the data to the server. तो उसके लिए scroll down, we have div same class equal to row. Inside this have one more division for column, and here we say class equal to call hyphen 12 direct, because here हम वो head mid last call LG MD वो सब नहीं लिखते हैं, because for the submit button it should exactly always come in the center. सेंटर में आना है तो फुल रो उसको देना पड़ेगा. सो व्हाट आई डू इज, ऑफ कोर्स ये ऊपर का जो है उसको कॉपी पेस्ट करोगे तो भी इट विल वर्क when the same thing can work with small number of characters. So I can make use of call LG12, call hyphen 12, मतलब पूरा कॉलम उसको दे दिया गया, one complete column or row in this case. Inside this put the center tag. Center tag के अंदर input type is equal to submit. Name I will say btn add course. Value देता हूँ add course. Okay, so add course बोल के a button will be displayed in this. Save करो and refresh the page. You can see a add course button. Sir color अच्छा नहीं दिख रहा है. You can make use of a class for this. Class equal to say btn success. Save, it shows in green. ಬಾಜು ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಡೂ ಇಸ್ ವಿ ಟೇಕ್ ಇನ್ಪುಟ್ ಟೈಪ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು reset, name say btn reset and value cancel. उसको भी एक क्लास आता है that is btn warning is generally we use in this. Save करो, refresh करो, we got the cancel button. So this is how we create a HTML form in this case. Okay, we'll stop at this point in the today's class because अब एक ही class में ना को. So we have created a project, we have created a form design. कल के class में we will see how we store the data from this. Okay, any doubts till here? No doubts? Go through all the concepts, all of you online students, offline students, go through all the concepts again. Form design का जो भी है, practice it. That is very important.